tired of refighting the same battles? Putting things to bed is how we escaped that trap. Early in our marriage, we fought a lot. And we found that like the same arguments would come up over and over and over again. And we'd think we'd had it taken care of. And then like some creepy zombie from the grave, there it is again. It just won't die. So what we came up with to fix that is what we call putting things to bed. And what that means is taking an issue and discussing it thoroughly and just getting it resolved. So like it doesn't need to come up again. Like it's handled.
So, for example, not letting someone move on already with something. Like if I get upset at you and I say, "Remember the time that you forgot my birthday last year?"
Right.
You know.
Like, well, how could I not remember it? You've brought it up every week since then.
Right, but I'm only bringing it up because I want to hurt you, or I want to remind you how you hurt me, over and over and over again, right? That's not putting it to bed. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So the deal is just put it to bed so it never comes up again. We do have one exception, and that is that sometimes things aren't discussed quite as thoroughly as we thought they were, and there might be some little detail that still needs to be handled, and so then we've agreed that we can bring that up again, not for the purposes of starting a new argument, but for just getting it put to bed the rest of the way.
Okay. So I could see an obstacle to this. Just it seems so much easier to just let it go and say whatever. The
reason it seems that way is because it is.
It is.
It's a lot of work to go through this, right?
It's easier, but in fact, it hurts your relationship, so it makes it more difficult, in fact, because when things aren't put to bed, that's where laundry lists come up. We spoke about that recently. They're just more and more to be annoyed with, or resentments build up. Your communication breaks down. Your intimacy deteriorates big time. The perspective that you have of your spouse, it just gets worse and worse, and it becomes like a cancer on your relationship. It's really not good. In the long run, it's way easier to just put them to bed as they come. So how does someone put something to bed?
Well, first you got to agree that you're both on board for it, right? So if Claudia's going to work on something and try to make it better, and I don't really care, nothing's going to happen, right? You both have to be down for the work. The next thing is, it is work. These discussions take a little while, so don't wait until 1 a.m. to get started. And don't wait till next week to get started, right? Like, just take care of it reasonably soon. And
when the memory is still there,
that's true.
Still fresh.
It really helps to remember what the actual words were, and not
right.
I remember feeling upset. I just don't remember why. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember last week when you did this? I don't remember doing that. No, you did.
Yeah.
Another thing is to bring up one issue at a time. Like we said recently, no laundry lists, and try to state it clearly so that your spouse understands. And charitably, especially, because, start off on that right foot. Don't dive into a war zone.
Another thing that I think is very important, and I think has helped us, is to allow each other to make clarifications, right? It's real easy to get into the, but you said, and yes, those are the words that came out of my mouth. I don't speak perfectly. That's not what I meant. What I meant was this other thing, and if we go with what I meant, we'll get this resolved. And if we're going to forever remember that those were the words I said, then we're going to be stuck. So allow clarification. Actually, and we'll talk more about that in an upcoming post.
And lastly, you want to just try to keep it as charitable as possible throughout your discussion. If you resolving an issue becomes a war zone, you just don't ever want to go there. No one wants to go there, right? So just try to make it as peaceful as possible, a discussion, a resolution.
Yeah, and if it goes well, it feels good. You got to go through this process with lots of different problems, right? And so if you can get to where it's relatively painless to do it, then you start to really appreciate how helpful it is and how good you feel when you've actually done the work. So we would like to invite you to try this out, right? Agree to not sweep things under the carpet and instead choose to resolve them and just take care of things as they come up.
Sounds good.
We're gonna do it?
We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. You sure?
Pinky swear. All right.